What's going on, everybody? I know it's been a while, and I told Daniel Kelly here that I would do this about a month ago now, probably like beginning of July. I think he sent me this replay, and everything's been kind of hectic, but we won't dive into that. We'll dive into this replay here, and we'll start with qualifying. Daniel wants us to check over his 360 official from last month and kind of go into it and see what we could find and see if there's anything that he can improve on. And so that's what we'll do. We'll start in qualifying like we always do. Check out the heat race, see if there's anything in there, and then we'll go to the feature. So qualifying, I watched this just now before loading this up, and Daniel, I think the only spot here where you left some time on the track because I mean the lap times were all within 2/10 of each other in this lobby here. So I think the only place where you left time about 700th of a second out there is just here. It's getting into one and two. I think maybe entering under this slick and getting in low and then sliding, not sliding, but like just driving the car straight up to this point where the marbles are is where that time is. I think this out here from this instead of being here and being up here is probably 700ths of a second. So if I had to guess where the other guys qualified up here, they probably entered underneath here and just kind of cut into the corner a little bit lower than you did. So that was probably it. That was literally probably the only mistake that you made in qualifying. So heat race though, I haven't seen any of this yet, so we'll check this. I don't think you ran the console. No, you didn't. So we'll check the heat race real quick. We'll just kind of go through it in 2x here, see if anything stands out. But I don't think it will because I think you finished right where you started. Yeah. So um, heat racing is always difficult, right? There's so much moisture on the track. Everybody's fighting for the same piece of real estate, and you've always got a guy on your outside, or you've always got a guy on your inside. You can't really get right to where you want to get to on track, so it makes it tough, especially at a track like Eldora where it's big, wide open, fast, and not very many people are going to make mistakes here on the track that's maybe 15% burned in. So yeah, I don't see any mistakes here. The line maybe is probably just where you're leaving some time out there, but nobody's ran away from you and nobody's really passing you. So that's also, not something really I think you made mistakes doing. You stayed in the moisture the whole time, and,
You're right, totally.
that's all you can really do.
Yeah,
Uh,
Danny.
the uh, the only thing different is if it was a little bit slicker out there, would you would have to make moves and try different lines and stuff. But when it's just wide open right through the middle like that's tough to do. So um, you qualify for the feature though, and start what seventh or whatever it would be, I guess. Where'd you start? Yeah, seventh. So let's see. Let's just look at the results here. You move back 2 spots. Um, so we're probably going to see some things in here, right? We're probably going to see um, maybe a couple mistakes, or it doesn't tell me how many X's you guys had, huh? You had 4, but that could have been anywhere. That could have been in practice, qualifying, or somewhere like heat race or something too. But we'll see if it's in the future here. But anyway, let me see what you said here in the message. I think you said you are on the insider setup. Okay. Um, let's see. What did you say about this one? Oh, you were talking about a previous one. Okay, so never mind. You were talking about a different one where you're talking about the pre-gen. Okay. So anyway, let's just get into this and see what we can see here. Again, still a ton of moisture. If I had to guess, you probably stayed on 24 wing or maybe only to 26 wing. Big kind of accident up here in front of you. A net code up there? It's Alex and Corey. No? Not really netcode. The way it snagged his tire, though. Should I turn the voice chat on?
Sorry, sorry.
Oh, Kenny's in here. Where's Kenny? Oh, Kenny's back here. Kenny, what are you doing? 13 to 6? Okay. Anyway, I just wanted to hear if they raged, but I won't do that. um, avoid a nice big accident here. Everybody kind of stays off each other. I think that Corey even saved it. Yeah, he saved it. So let's just watch you here, right? The Eldora, when it gets to the feature like this and there's still this much moisture at the start, it's tough because the cushion, the marbles have pushed all the way up to the wall on both sides of the track, and then like the exits are pretty slick, right? So look at all this moisture in the middle of the track. So much room to go around here. I mean, you can see it. This car in the middle, this car not all the way up, this car all the way ripping the top, this car kind of just in the, I don't know where he started the corner, but then you guys are up here, this car laying off. So there's so much moisture in the middle of the corner, but really the entry and the exit dictate where you can go in the middle because you can run, slide up, get to the cushion, or you can enter up here, cut down underneath the slick. There's so many different things you can try, just run right through the middle, that it makes it kind of hard to predict where the fast line is going to be. So everybody's trying to find that right now. Everybody's fighting, like, okay, is it slider line still? Should I run the top in 1 and 2, cut down? Oh, that guy got all out of sorts. What happened to this guy? Daniel Boyd. Oh my goodness. He stomped on the brake. I don't know what happened there. Unless Jesse, this is Jesse Dacus. Sometimes he has a lot of latency issues. So unless his car like blinked up in front of this guy on screen, maybe that's what it was, or maybe he thought he was coming up to slide up in front of him. I don't know, but that guy really stomped on the brake. Hard too, so no fault really there of your own. That's hard to react to that quickly. See the front wing if you got any damage. A little bit, just a little bit, kind of bent in, huh? Yeah, just not a ton. So and then you got hit pretty hard in the back too, but it dented that Nerf bar a little bit. So probably nothing, probably no. What's the word I'm looking for? Probably just cosmetic damage, right? So, nothing you can do there. Like I said, that's no fault of your own there. Let's check the restarts. We like to always see how the restarts are. Big gap here between you. First thing I notice. That's okay. It's okay and it's not okay, right? Like you can, you want to be close to this guy up here so it doesn't throw off people behind you or stuff like that. But he left a pretty big gap to the car in front of him. Also, looks like yeah. So there. Let's back this up even more. I don't know what. Did this guy slow down a lot? No. No, nobody really slowed down up there. So this guy, I don't know why he was so far off the tail here. This guy, these two guys speed up a little bit to catch up, and he just never really does. Oh, and then he slows down again. So I could understand you're probably being a little cautious here because you're not sure what's going on up there. The cut down restart at Eldora is usually pretty good. Not really what that guy did, but if you're like way out here in the back, probably like way back here. Like if you're this, oh okay, if you're Kenny here, see if he does it. He does do it. So he cuts off going all the way around. Yes, you drive through the slick, but it's not like slick enough where if your car is straight, you're gonna be fine. If you're stomping on the gas sideways, turning the car left, then yeah, it's not good for you. But if Kenny even cuts this down harder and drives all the way down below, he's going to get even better restart. But he ran a pretty good restart there. So you're pretty close to the front here. So staying out here with the right rear and the grip isn't detrimental really. And you kept up with the guys in front of you too, so that was pretty good. And then a right rear on the restart. That's always fun. Leader just trying to reclaim his lead, get his momentum back going, and then bink. Just no regard for the drivers around you. Let's just send it in as close to the inside wall as we can from 3 car lengths back on a wide open racetrack and just somehow hope this guy has slowed down enough to where you can cut up in front of him. Or, I mean, maybe just not care at all and just drive straight to the side of him. That was probably the goal more than anything. So, anyway, we're focusing on you, but that just pisses me off. So, that's annoying. Leader gets taken out on a restart, and that's the hardest thing all the time, right? You're the leader. You probably have a nice little lead going under green, and then the guy in second, the guy in third wants to be a hero and try to make the pass on you going into turn one because he finally gets a chance to get a restart being right on your bumper. And to be frank, I guess if you're an asshole, yeah, I guess that's the thing to do. Um, try and park it on the leader's nose and get in front of him, make a mistake or just wreck him. It's kind of the asshole thing to do. But if you can pass somebody clean on a restart, fine. But if you're throwing a slider on a wide open 100% throttle racetrack where you have no chance of clearing it, maybe you're just in the wrong hobby. Anyhow, you guys all kind of collected, it looks like, and keep it going. What happened? Let's see what happened here. We're in the slick a little bit. The left rear gets some drive, and it just pushes you into the wall. That's where the car wants to go. Tough here because you probably couldn't. Yeah, you couldn't clear that guy up, so you have to. Oh, no, because that guy's there too. So you have to kind of enter the slick here in a weird position because you don't have the momentum to like cut down through it, and you don't have a gap really to fit the car in. The only option here is maybe just lift a little bit and get the car turning. Instead of pointing straight at the flag stand, you kind of get it, pointed the direction these guys are facing instead. Maybe lifting 90% is the option there. Because if you yank the steering with 100% throttle, if you try and pull yourself back to the left, that's gonna really turn you sideways. Those guys avoid you though. Pretty good reactions by them. I think the middle of the track on at least 3 and 4 for sure still has too much grip, so it's probably slider line on that side of the track for sure. The bottom might even be pretty good in 1 and 2. Looked like the 30 car or the 50 car or something down there had a pretty good run. Not in 3 and 4 though. I think on this side of the track, it's kind of happening to you again. You're up here, and you're doing good, but right here, do you notice what I'm kind of paused at the perfect point? You come off the cushion a little bit, so you stay out here 2-3 car, two more car widths outside here where these cars are exiting. You're going to have a much better and easier exit instead of cutting down a little too early and getting through all this slick here. They're racing hard in front of you, so there is room to catch. Yeah, it just happened in the middle of the corner again. Kind of just fell off the cushion. I guess I should look at your inputs. Maybe it's an input thing. Let's see if I can find something there. Run down the back stretch there out of 2. What's going on here? Are you just loose, maybe? Maybe we're just loose. Let me get up under the wing here. What's the wing at? We always check that. I like to see where the wing's at. Oh, not all the way underneath the ground. We're at, what is that? Maybe 3? Oh, shoot. Maybe 3 there? Oh, maybe 2, huh? Wing at, what is, that's probably 2. So maybe just pulling the wing back just a little bit would have helped you just a hair. To stay, from falling off this cushion here on that side of the track. Car's just a little loose in the middle of the corner for you on that side. Oh, God. Did he just wreck another car? Oh, big net code, but yeah, he was going to nail him anyway with the right rear. Is that the same guy? Yeah. I don't know what time of night you ran this race, but I'm pretty sure this is an Australian, and this is why I don't run these late at night races. Net code for one, and then just kind of the asshole mentality that comes along with it. Never gonna clear this guy. Never gonna clear this guy. Cut down line in 3 and 4, fine, dandy. He slid you. Try and slide him back, but what? This is supposed to be for you video, but I think we're making one for Alex Attard here instead. Um, that was never gonna clear. In what world does that look like it's gonna clear? Does he have a view of him at all? Maybe car outside call. That's probably all he has. If he goes lower, I'm just trying to play this in my head. Like I'm trying to think, put myself in. I always try to put myself in somebody else's shoes. Like if they're driving like this, like what are they seeing? What maybe give them the benefit of the doubt a little bit. But this is the second or third time just in this lobby that this happened. So I'm trying to think. If I'm lower, I run the risk of driving up into the side of this guy. So I can't enter like super, super low because I'm probably going to catch him super fast. So I try to just follow him through. But all the way through here, I knew I never caught this guy. So I probably never got a car outside call. I know I'm still in fourth. So I don't run the slider line deep enough into the corner to clear a car that's in front of me, not even alongside of me. And then you just absolutely obliterate him. I think that probably ended the race. Was there a caution? There was a caution on this lap, but it wasn't for him. That's something I'll do here towards the end is check the cautions. Oh no, there's a caution on lap 12, my bad. Oh, my leg's falling asleep from the way I was sitting. Let me turn this down just a little bit. I don't know if it's too loud or not. So you're still here. I mean, you're not losing a lot of time to these guys in front of you. And, like I said, that's kind of just the beast that is Eldora. You're kind of stuck with all this moisture that, it's not quite racy until it gets really, really slick. This guy with a really good restart this time. Nice cut down. Like I was talking about. You cut down all the way down into that, man, you're going to get a good go. You got stuck up in the slick. And it, they gapped you pretty good on that one. Here's another key to where Eldora slider line is still the way to go here. Or Eldora 3 and 4 slider line, is still in because you can see slick line all the way through this corner where my mouse is. There's slick. And where that guy just slid you, he probably ran the perfect line. He was way too far back probably to run it, but he ran the perfect line. Yeah, he landed up here in the grip and got, he completed the pass. Luckily, you saw him in time. Yeah, you probably never saw him coming until he got right there in front of you, but good reaction by you to realize that you weren't going to be able to squeeze it around the top, and cutting down into the slick wasn't going to help you either. But yeah, I mean, you can see the leader up here. He's kind of getting caught. This guy just can't pass him because he can't clear him quite yet. This guy's running a better line through 1 and 2 than the guy behind him. I think that's why he pulls him in 1 and 2, then runs the top, and then this guy catches him every time through 3 and 4. So, there you go. Pretty good exit that time, or pretty good, where you're at here. The only thing, I think if you go back and watch... Crap. It's been so long now. Was it Bryce that we were talking about at Volusia that wasn't using all the straightaway on the exits of the corner? So you get to this point and you want to keep the car up here, Don't be afraid of this wall. That's why I always tell people, go out practice, wreck. Because coming out of the corners is where you lose a lot of your speed because people get afraid of this wall on any track. So they steer it. They're good here. They're like in the grip. You just got to straighten this car out and get it going this way. You can't spin it back to the inside here like this and then, not have. You see how much you had to lift there? You had to lift a bunch and then lose a lot of time, and you miss the entry into 1 and 2. Let's see. Trying to also keep them in my view here. They're starting to pull away a little bit now. Just entering just a little too low on this side. You want to be up here where these tire tracks are from these guys that went through already. All four in the slick here right now. Just be a little bit higher. Don't be afraid of that wall. Because the problem with Eldora isn't entering too high. It's entering too low, and then you slide up and bang into this third Eldora logo. Because you can't, you have no bite from grit or from moisture on the track. You're doing it good here. You got the right rear up here on this side of the track. Just trying to stay up a little high, a little low on the exit again, but turn 2 starting to get pretty treacherous as well. Oh no. What happened? Oh, he just turned in a little too late into the corner and it tightened up on him. He turns in a little kind of late, kind of sharp into the corner, and then he tightens up on him just right there, and up she goes. Little flat right rear. That's the worst feeling, man. When you just climb that wall like that and you know the axle breaks and it causes you to just crab walk the rest of the race. So Kenny passes you, I think? But Kenny does end up getting you. So let's see what Kenny does a little bit differently. This is you up here. I think, does Corey get you too? Yes, Corey gets you too. So Corey slides you. Let's see what you did there to react to that. Corey slides you. Another one you might not have seen till a little bit later. Obviously, I don't know your situation, VR or triples or what, but on this one, I can see him coming on my left side. So if I was you, oh, you can see him here too. So here's the time to cut down, because you know this guy didn't enter that low and that fast coming up sliding in front of you. Let's go full speed just real quick. That car moving that fast through the middle of the track, you know that he's gonna finish, sliding all the way up to here. So back there, just a little bit like right here. Once you see him, now is the time to be like, okay. Now I'm gonna cut down hard, get the car pointed straight to where I want to go, over this direction, and drive it, underneath all this slick, right through here, just straight through there underneath him as he slides in front of you. Down here, pointed underneath there, and cut back underneath him, and try to, battle a little bit for that position. Just being careful there. Kenny gets you here. Very next lap, it looks like. Big slider from Kenny. What'd you do? Oh, you cut down that time. Kenny had so much more speed, though, because you were kind of being just a little bit more hesitant here on this corner, like being careful, which is fine. Obviously, you don't want to run into the back of anybody or, take yourself out or them out. So I think you see Kenny maybe this time. You cut down. Just didn't get it straight enough. Just didn't have the car. You just never had the car underneath you straight enough to keep the throttle in it. So you get here, but the weight's still over here wanting you to turn here. If you get this car, jerked back underneath you with the steering, and you feel it like you can hold the wheel straight and drive straight, then you can get it going right through this line and then just drive it straight through here. But the car has to be all four wheels perfectly underneath you. If we look at your wing here, that might have had a little bit something to do. Let's see what your wing's at now. Maybe 5? About 5. Probably. That's probably not a terrible spot for it. Well, it looks like it's 5. It looks like it's right in the middle way. But that's tough to get through here because you've got to get the car underneath you. You've got to have all four wheels settled underneath you. You can kind of feel that in the force feedback of your wheel when all four tires do get settled underneath you. But that's kind of why that one didn't work there. That's why you weren't able to really cut underneath it there. And then smart play there. You didn't have enough speed to go attack in the next corner to throw a slider yourself. Car coming up behind you looks like he's catching you. There's moisture down here. It's not a bad line. I think your mistakes were just right here. Pretty much the whole race, just not quite high enough out of 4 down the front stretch and into 1. I think that's really where the mistakes were. And you could have ran, the slider line quite a bit to not give up a lot of time. Nice little mid cut down line there, though. You got back around that guy. Battle in here. I think that right there, 1 and 2 is always so hard to throw sliders, especially when it's this slick on the top. So, um, you get in front of this guy by a pretty good margin. I think you can short slide him here to get up to the cushion quicker and force his hand earlier into the corner. Or instead of doing this and landing here, this is no man's land right here. All this is no man's land. You've got your momentum going this way instead of this way, and you've got no drive in the car through this slick. If you're going this way, yes, you've got the drive you need to be in the slick, but you're going this way and you're kind of just in no man's land here now. For the next 100 feet, you're stuck. Like, whoa, crap, where do I go? If I go up higher, I'm going to lose time. If I try to slow the car down to get lower, I'm going to lose time. So your only option is pretty much exactly what you did. Just try to ride it out. Ride it out right through the slick there. If you go back here and if you don't think you can clear the slider, hold it here. Hold it here, right through this line here. Maybe enter a little bit wider. And hold it here. Hold it here. Your momentum always has to be driving down the track. Down the track, down the track, down the track. And I don't mean down across lanes of traffic. I mean down your nose. All your momentum is going this way right now. This way, this way, this way. You need to be following the momentum of the track to run this middle line like this, if that makes any sense. So you're going this way. You're sliding this way. Your momentum's going all that way, so you have no drive when you get to this point. And this guy back here, who entered nice and high, has the momentum because he cuts down, and look, his momentum was always down the track. Yes, he's cutting. He's running a cut down line. Obviously, he's going to have momentum, but his momentum was always going this way. Always, always, always going this way, and that's why he was able to hold enough speed to get back underneath you and get by you. You're back here on this one. This is like slider line momentum, right? Where you slide up in front of somebody, slow them down, force their hand kind of thing. You did, but he was on such a better trajectory through that corner than you, and you didn't go all the way up. You didn't force his hand early enough, so he had plenty of time to react and cut underneath you. And then you kind of just get stuck right here, right? No, there's no man's land here. It's just like, when can I put the throttle down kind of area. 3 and 4 is where the slider line works, where your momentum works, because you get up here to the cushion, and then you have all the drive coming out of the corner here. You can see when you ran the slider line through here, you had the right idea getting out of 4 every time. Every time you ran the slider line so far, you've had the right idea, nice and wide. But when you're running the top, you were down here. But on the slider line, every time you ran it, you're out here, you're out here, you're out here. But then you get to this point and you don't get the car underneath you. You don't steer the car underneath you. So see how you're still twisted kind of this way? You're twisted this way instead of the car being going this way where you want to go. So you end up down here. Then it messes up your entry. Then you're kind of stuck, between where you need to be. See what happens here this time. Big bounce in the cushion. There you go. That was better. But I think the big bounce in the cushion made you kind of scared you a little bit, so you slowed down so much that it was easier to exit this corner. The car's underneath you much, much more, and you're able to drive it through the slick straight where you want to go, up here by this wall. Pretty good entry into 1 here, but you get loose just kind of right there. I think the wing just needs to come back a little bit. I think that was what was kind of throwing you off, just a touch. Pull that wing back just a little bit, and you would have been a little bit better off. Oops. Yeah, you're still at like 5. It looks like. I think right now you can get away with 6. If you're on 24 wing, probably 7. Just pull it back a little bit. Get that weight on the rear a little bit more. That aero weight planting you a little bit better. Oh, that was so good until that point, though. This was really good through this whole portion. You stayed low enough to really stay off that bump, and then just let the car get underneath you here. You know, it's hard to explain how to do it, but you can really feel it in your force feedback here when you exit this corner like that. Let's see if we can find the leader, see what they're doing. Let's see if Boyd's doing it here, coming out of 4. So he's running where the most moisture is on the slider line. He's out here. He's a little bit in the slick, but the car was just a little bit more underneath him. See how the car is just a little bit more underneath him, even when he's in the slick here. He gets here and the car shakes that way. Car's just under. Let me go 4x here so you can see it a little bit clearer. See how it just kind of shakes back underneath him? Probably hard to see, but it shakes back underneath him, and the car is able to just drive a little bit more straighter. It's not great. I mean, that's not the ideal way to run it. All those guys are running the bottom. See if Kenny's maybe doing 3 and 4 here or something. Pretty good there. I mean, that's not... Let's go back a few laps. See if Kenny's running like the outsider at all. Nice and high entry for Kenny into 1 and 2. Little cut down line, just a little short one. Running this slider line that has a lot of grip through the middle of the track here. That's good to see. And then he gets to the cushion. And the car's sort of underneath him. He's a little bit more off the wall than he wanted to be, I bet. A little bit more into the wall there than he wanted to be. Oh, I don't know what he was doing there. Maybe he did that time on purpose. Slider line there. See this car in front of him? This car ran the slider, but the car is underneath him here. The weight is equal. You know, it's driving him forward. He's got the car centered underneath him. He's able to just drive it forward to where this line, I guess. But had he ran, you know, stayed on the top, the car was underneath him here to drive this way. But he ran whatever that line was. So I was hoping for some better examples to kind of show you what I mean. But the Bryce, I'm pretty sure it's the Bryce Volusia video where I talked about that. Is a pretty good idea of what I mean. Final lap here, though. Playing it safe, sort of. Whoa, what happened? Final lap. We get off the cushion. Oh. We get off the cushion, hammer down still, all 4 tires in the slick, and we are pointing all the way over here. Never ideal. But it's the last lap. I think you had maybe a little bit of a cushion. And maybe just a little amped up to try and, you know, keep the car off the wall or something. But I won't dock you too many points for that one. I think that's it, man. I think really just the exit of the corner out of 4 was really throwing you off. And then you ran the outside, the top, pretty much the whole time, all the way up here on the entry to 3, pretty much every lap. And I think optimal lap times would have been through here, like you were. Right through here is where you would have wanted to be earlier on, but you've got to get up and out of it here. You don't want to be in here. You want to be getting out of it on the cushion. So I think you're just a little too low here. You would have already wanted to be up here getting, you know, grip on that right rear before you got to this point. So a lot of similarities to you know, things I see with a lot of other drivers that are trying to improve. Though you've got the tools, you've just got to use them in the right applications, if that makes sense. You've got what you need and what it takes to be good at this game. I can see it, I can feel it. It's all there. You've got the patience, you've got the awareness. You've got the driving skill. I can see you. I mean, you're running the top here. You know, some of these laps are really good up here. You've just got to do that every time, basically. That's what the car want. That's what you want the car to look like on the exit of the corner right here. just nice and straight, driving right through there, perfect straight. Instead of being, you know, getting to here and then continuing to, let the car be going left. That was really the difference maker for you. Running the top all the way around early on in 3 and 4 like this, when the line was really the slider line like these guys are running up here. I think the 79 is probably running it. Yeah, see right through the middle kind of slider line or lower slider line. Get up there. Um, that's a tenth probably every lap right there. And then that right there also that's another probably half a tenth, full tenth. Especially when it causes this. So you get here and then you let the car, shake you down into the slick, and then you've got nowhere to run. The end. You can't enter the corner right. Whereas this guy's up here, right rear up on the cushion, you're not, and then you get up to it and you fall off, and you get back up to it and you fall off. It's just that those little things add up, and I think that's the biggest takeaway from this is all those little shakes in the car and stuff like that really add up. Um, I think maybe the wing just needed to come back, maybe 1 or 2 clicks, and some of that would have been more manageable for you to keep the car underneath you. But like I said, the driving skill is there. You've just got to trust yourself that you're not gonna wreck, and that's what practice is for. Go out and try to run that exit of four over and over and over. See if you can drive through this corner of the track here by staying up there instead of down there when you're coming out of four. Let the car get centered underneath you and drive it straight down the straightaway. But yeah, I think that's it for this one. It's been 37 minutes, so a little bit longer than our previous ones, but this was a really good replay because I think we'll probably agree on this. You're stuck. You're kind of in one of those plateaus right now. You're like, man, like I feel like I got much better than I was before, but I'm stuck right here, and I know I can get much better than I am now. I was the same way, man. I was stuck at like 2,500 iRating level of driving for so long. And it just takes practice. It takes a lot of laps. It takes, figuring out the right foot, figuring out the steering, and how to get this car underneath you on corner exit like this to trust yourself up on the wall like that. You can see Kenny's car here getting out of this corner, ran that slider line there. The car's just, it's much straighter. It's not turning left like yours was on the exit of the corner. There's just those slight things like that where you kind of get stuck turning down through the slick on corner exit and stuff that really throw off the whole lap. And once you fix those, you're gonna realize how much better that made you. It's such a small little mistake, it feels like, but in the grand scheme of 30 laps, it's probably 8.496 seconds worth of mistakes. And that's the difference between first and ninth. And it takes a lot of laps. It takes a lot of crashing. It takes a lot of banging the right rear off the wall on this front stretch around the exit of four to realize what the limit of the car is. But the more laps, the more practice you do, the better you're going to get at it. And that's really the biggest thing I can tell you, because like I always say, kind of my motto: if you're not crashing, you're not practicing. So get out there, practice, and if you ever need help or you want to burn a track in, all of us always like to burn tracks in and do stupid stuff and crash each other and run laps and stuff. So just let us know, and I think that's really it. Hope the family's doing well. I know you went through some stuff kind of recently, but I hope everything's getting better and you're able to get back on the rig soon and get some practice in. And as always, I appreciate you guys sending these in to me. Appreciate Daniel Kelly sending this one in this time, and for allowing us to make it public and see if anybody else can learn anything from it. So until next time, whenever that time may be, hopefully sooner than later. But you guys know me. The promotion at work has me on 4 to midnight schedule now, so I don't get to do much racing, but um, I still like to coach it a little bit. So if you've got something you want me to look at, I like to try and find some time to look at it here. So Daniels took me a while, but I got to it. That's what matters. So if you guys got any more you want me to look at, don't be afraid to throw it up on that replay review channel. And as always, everybody take care, have fun, um, and don't be an a-hole. Don't crash people on purpose. See you guys.